The Corporate Policy and Finance Committee held at the Town Hall on Wednesday, 13th June 2018. The first item on the agenda is apologies. Are there any apologies?
None that I've received.
And
nothing from
no apologies from Councillor Jones. Okay, any declarations of interest?
Yes. I'd like to declare a pecuniary interest in the community grants item 7.1 as I'm a trustee of Southdown Play Areas Working Group for Charity.
Okay, could I ask you when we discuss that item, if you could possibly leave the room?
Yes, I'll agree.
Any other declarations of interest? Yes, Councillor Heritage.
Thank you, Chair. I will declare a similar interest to Councillor Cooley. I do not have a personal interest, but my wife is also on the committee. I'm happy to answer any questions from any of the members of the committee, but I will not take part in the vote.
Thank you. Anything else? No? Okay, Chairman's report and urgent items. Tonight there is no Chairman's report. Are there any urgent items?
Nothing that I'm aware of, Chair.
Thank you. Public questions in accordance with Standing Order 22. Any public questions?
None received, Chair.
Okay. Moving on to item 5, the minutes of the last meeting of this committee are on page 126. I would like to confirm the minutes of that meeting. Are there any comments or disagreements with the minutes? No? Okay.
Chair, just to remind members, there are part of the minutes in this discussion.
Yes, you will discuss them in extent. Thank you. We are now on agenda item 6, and those show the minutes of meetings which have been referred to the Corporate Policy and Finance Committee. They are shown on pages 7 to 10, and the first item is to receive the minutes of the Accounts Subcommittee held on the 13th of March 2018. You will find those minutes on page 7. Are there any comments on the minutes? Any questions? No? If not, I would like to make a recommendation to this group that the Corporate Policy and Finance Committee approve the investments made by the Finance Officer, Responsible Finance Officer, and that is shown in minute 20.6 on page 8. Any questions on that? No? Can I have a show of hands, please?
Yep.
Thank you. Secondly, to receive the minutes of the Accounts Subcommittee held on the 24th of April. They are shown on page 9 of your report. Are there any comments or questions on this? No? Okay, there are no recommendations from that subcommittee, so we can move on to item 7. We have tonight 4 officers' reports, and I'll now hand over for the first of these, which is the Community Grant Fund applications on page 11 to 20. Any comments on that? Or
nothing to add.
Nothing to add.
Both applications have got details of sort of previous grants on the page out to them.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go then to agenda item 7.1. Yeah, I think you can say.
If any questions, you might be able to help.
Oh, okay, I'll stay for any questions, yes.
Okay. Are there any questions? Right, we'll take the first one, which is the Southdown Play Areas Working Group. You'll see on page 11 and halfway down page 12, the grant application from that group. They are asking for £500. Are there any questions on this, and we have two people who are related to the lady.
This is just the next phase in the programme
In the
of work.
programme.
Yes, the big project that they've got in mind.
Yeah.
And this is...
Yes, Councillor.
No, just to say, now I'm just clarifying for myself, because I'm just new into it. This is mainly looking at for the M3+, is it?
Yes. Yes.
Chair, would you like me to clarify anything or just give a little summary?
You could give a little summary, which would be helpful.
Okay, this request is £500 towards the toddler zone, and the toddler zone, it will cost £32,785. If we receive this grant, we will then have £7,857 to go before we achieve the total. So I think we're getting close.
Thank you for that. Any further questions, colleagues? Actually, Chris.
Well, just one comment that obviously if we approve, we make the grant subject to the rest of the money being raised.
Yeah.
Please.
That's, yeah, if you could take a note of that, yeah? So it doesn't disappear into a pot somewhere.
Absolutely, it should be retained by us until such time as they're within £500
Yeah.
or thereabouts. Having had experience of that sort of thing.
Yeah. Any other questions? No. Okay, can I have a show of hands, please, excluding the two councillors still involved? You don't have to go out. I think that's proven. The next one, none of us are involved in, it's a grant application of £500 to Nicky Radio. It's shown between paragraphs 3.8 to 3.11. A non-profit radio station serving residents and businesses in Harpenden and the surrounding area. And they want the money, £500, towards the cost of updating the website and towards the cost of equipment to provide a listen again tune-in feature and to provide a podcast feature that the system will default to in the event of a drop signal. Any questions of the officer about this?
Is there any, sorry, I should have asked this one in advance. Is there any relationship with Ferrum Radio, or is this a separate venture? Thank you.
Is it based in someone's house, actually?
I'm not sure the actual setup, but it's quite a low key.
Yeah.
I was going to say it is very low key. I'm not sure if it might be because they have the one main reporter and they tend to go out to go on site. So they've been in here and they have sometimes, and we have from time to time let them use the men's parlour over there for interviews with people. So it's a very small, and it is very local.
They cover, I think they covered the carnival.
They did, yes.
They cover local events.
Yes, they're very much. Yes,
It's always got those, why shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, any other questions? Comments? Any views? Personally, I think that this is the encouraging a variety of different media is good for the town.
Yes, but it's also a good way because they do promote or at least bring people's attention as well to events that we may be running. So I think it's a very good thing that they do get. They're another sort of, if you like, they're another way of getting information out to our residents.
It's a good techie thing, isn't it? To have
Yes.
on board.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm going to say it's also good, it's non-profit.
Yep.
Yeah.
The money goes in there.
Okay, so those in favour of the application? Thank you. The second, the second item, agenda item 7.2 is on page 21, and this is the budget control provisional outcome, and I would like to congratulate our finance officer and the rest of the staff in achieving such a good result for the year.
Thank you, Chair.
Costs are well controlled.
Yes.
If I can just interject at that point, it does look a favourable position in paragraph 3.2 with a reduction of 112,000. But if you look at the analysis of the income, we actually received a lot more income than was expected. it's like £54,000,
Yes.
which was a first phase of the commercial income activities that we're taking on board in this year's budget. So that was just to sort of get us into the footing of it, and hopefully it'll pick up more this year.
Well, not many businesses would be able to achieve both a reduction in cost and an increase in income. I think the town clerk, we congratulate you, we congratulate you for the financial control and officers for their hard work in achieving.
They're not in considerable amounts, are they, really?
No, yeah, they're not.
And we're doing more.
I was just going to say, we've not had a moratorium on spend. We've still been doing our services. It's just that we've been managing it, how it's been spent.
Managing it, and yes, I think it's a very good thing that we're doing with using our assets to produce income, because it's...
Have we had the adverse comments on using a concourse?
No,
I've not had it.
Nobody said anything to me.
I'm not aware of anything coming in.
They're not well over one side, aren't they?
In fact, I've had lots of people say it's great to have the coffee carts and things.
People sitting out on tables.
Yeah, they appreciate it as a service.
I don't know if anybody complained about the open air cinema, but several people came up to me and said, fantastic.
There was one complaint from a resident who lives locally, but she has a child who was very affected by the noise, and that is under advisement. They're going to look at noise levels from open air cinemas in the future. She was quite upset because her child was very, very badly affected by it. But it was only one person, but you have to be sympathetic,
Of course, yes.
to someone in that situation, and I think the operator will take on board the comment that, because it was, I think, particularly loud.
I didn't hear, I don't know. I just had a lot of people come up to me and say, "Cool, what a good idea."
But many people said that many people went down for the evenings, really thoroughly enjoyed themselves and thought it was a great idea.
It was also certainly something or other showman film was
The first one was The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, made, I understand, a very good profit.
So around 1,500 seats.
Yeah, they had to put in more seats, didn't they?
Can I add one ride?
That's all right, don't worry.
I couldn't see.
Mr Mayor, after you, sir. Keep going.
Sorry, can I add one ride to the concourse? The pudding stop, which are on the concourse, I've got a planning application in to move to the old Cork Travel Building in Station Road.
Co-op.
The Cork. Did I say Cork?
Sorry.
Cork Travel Building.
I thought.
Obviously,
I heard that wrong.
So they're planning. They said how nice it is that a small business that started off on the concourse, although they do have a shop in St Albans, can now hopefully progress to have a retail premises. And that was...
Well, that's good, because that's what we want for the town. We want successful businesses in the town.
Well, as far as the thing was concerned, it was audible up and around past the station. Up Station Road, you could hear it if you were outside, if it didn't affect inside. And there were one or two, perhaps it could be a bit quieter, but they weren't really rabid. I don't want it ever again.
Well, the person who was complaining on social media lives near, and so, the people who live alongside the common will particularly affect.
Well, the sound was travelling up as far as Cornwall Road. I certainly could hear it in the back garden. I couldn't hear it in the...
But hundreds of people have a good time. I mean, it's a balance. It's a balance.
You've got to have it loud enough that people can hear.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments about our questions? Well, I'm just very impressed, because I think that the officers are delivering more. And it's going well.
Yes, can I just add on to that I'm particularly pleased to see how well the costings for Battersea Springs headquarters was managed.
Yes.
That's a really, really good outcome on that.
Yes, they managed to get it in much lower
Yes.
than the original budgets, and that was through careful and prudent management.
Yes.
And having been there when our past mayor opened it, it's actually a great facility. So Okay, anything else?
I appreciate the size that will be widened. They're done late in the week.
Yeah, we just finished
So-
the green across the road here.
Well, let's say so.
And the one that goes from here across to the Upper Arms. That one.
The diagonal one that goes
Oh,
to
one just over there.
We're doing a rolling program one a year.
Yeah, fine.
That's what the
Again-
budget allows for.
Again, I've seen comments appreciating that because it was
Yeah.
getting a bit,
Yeah.
you know, it was a bit of a trip hazard in the evening.
It's also got very mucky if it was that.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no more comments, I would just ask you to note the report, and I think you've noted the report. Okay, if we move to 7.3 on page 27, this is the local government pay award. There has been agreed pay award implemented in accordance with officers' contractual arrangements, so we've not actually been asked to agree or recommend anything. NALC and SLCC have reached an agreement by the National Joint Council for Local Government Services on the pay award for employees. It will be a 2% inflationary increase on all spinal column points across the year. This includes the outer and fringe allowance, and this will be implemented from April.
1st April, and we allow for 2% in our budget, so we're covered from that point of view.
Was that a guess? No, it was
Well, there was speculation of what it was going to be, and that was the negotiated figure that was hopping around at the time.
First,
Sorry, I've just got a question. On 3.3, I didn't understand this bit. Part of the settlement includes a revamp of the spinal column points effective, etc.
Okay. The way level salaries on the end of JC agreement works is that there's scale points 1 to 49, and then 50 to 60, 70 odd, I think it is, for different bandings. The lower numbers of 1 to 10 are almost non-existent because of minimum wage. So what they're doing in 2019 is renumber all the whole lot, basically.
Oh, I
So they
see.
start back at 1 and then coming up. So staff may be on a point of 25 to 26, but in the new 2019 it could drop down to a much lower number just because of the renumbering.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
It's a bit similar at the moment. They've got salaries, but they start at point 16, I think it is, because nothing is paid below that because of minimum wage.
it's just to bring it into line with reality.
Yeah.
Are these spinal points the same ones we used to district?
Yes.
They are.
No, district's now got a local agreement.
Are they?
They've moved out of the NJC.
Councillor Farmer.
I was only going to comment that going back to the previous item, that I think it's a very sensible and good move of ours to look at, as a council, to increase our income base so that we are able to comfortably meet sort of these negotiated increases in salary, and of course you have on top of that the associated overhead.
Yes, and that's without having to put up
Yes, without having
taxation.
to put up the precepts to meet them.
Yeah. Any other comment? Sorry, Councillor Paul, anything else?
No, it's just interesting.
Yes.
I
Okay.
used to actually sit on the employers organisation down in Bury St Edmunds a long time ago.
Yeah.
I used to travel over there to district as a rep. Nice day out.
Okay, we've been asked to note the notification of the pay award, so that is duly noted. Page 29, item 7.4, the capital reserve policy. We've not had a capital reserve policy in place, basically because we don't have any capital to put into it. We now are beginning to accumulate capital items. The difference between a capital and a revenue reserve is many and manifold, but the main difference is you can't take money out of the capital reserve in the public sector to spend on revenue. So once it's in the capital reserve, it can only be spent on capital items. And that capital items, the actual tax thing on that is quite complex, but it's essentially things that are depreciated over more than 3 years. That's fine. Yeah.
You should choose. 45 is what we go with.
Yeah. And so things like PCs are debatable, traditionally they've been classified as capital, even though they're in and out in 2 years. Cars are capital, buildings are capital, refurbishment is revenue. So there is, but the accountants have a field day with the difference between capital and revenue. So but we are setting up a capital reserve, and any items which come in from capital items will go into
Two
that.
questions. We haven't got any money at the moment for shoveling there, have we?
No.
Right, second question is on page 31, item 3. Repayment of long-term debt, that doesn't refer to revenue, does it?
No.
We do have some long-term debt. We've got 2 small loans outstanding, which actually expire or are paid off in 2020. So, but we could, if we had capital receipts, pay that off.
However, I've looked into this, and the penalty of paying it off is greater than just.
It was reviewed about 5-6 years ago for the amount of money that we had outstanding.
I don't think it's got very long to run.
So the penalty
years.
for paying off early? No.
Yes.
There's huge penalties for paying off early, so it's not worth paying. We could have paid it off years ago, it's not worth it.
I was going to say, I mean, leaving aside the fact that from an accounting point of view, a local government accounting point of view, it's sensible to have this reserve, but I was also going to say, I think it's sensible that we've got it as well, because then there will be items over the years that we need to spend as CapEx, and sensible that we've got a reserve to meet that CapEx.
Yeah.
Does it affect the total, is it allowable to have that amount in our earmark or reserves? Does it affect the other figures in any way?
No.
It stands alone.
Question, sorry, Chair. I just wonder what other councils do. It looks good thing to do, but sort of benchmarking.
Other councils have capital reserves. The major issue with capital reserves, and I'll say this and I'll defer to you on it. The major issue is be very careful what you put in it, because once it's in it, you can't take it back out again.
Yeah, but just to clarify as well, I think I'm right in thinking that if we have a capital receipt come in, that would have to go, that has by law to be in a capital reserve.
So does it restrict you in where you put any income? It does.
It does. You can only spend a capital reserve on capital items, and so you cannot use it for operational, and you cannot use it for just operational items. So, for example, the boreholes at you couldn't use it for that because if you used it for the building there,
For the new
HQ.
the new HQ, that's a
HQ
capital
up there.
item.
So you don't have to put capital income receipt into the capital reserve.
No.
You don't have to.
You must put capital receipt into the reserve,
Yeah.
but as in you must spend only on capital items coming out of that, but you can't use it for anything else.
But can you avoid putting it in there if
No,
you're going to
no.
use it?
No.
You must. Yes.
My question. If the cost of the capital item increases after you put in reserve,
You can fund the balance from general reserve.
Oh, I see. All right.
General reserve you can do what you like with, capital reserve you can only spend on capital items.
It's what we've been doing now. We've been using our general reserve for capital expenditure because we've got no reserve.
Yes.
But this is just so we've got something in place. So in the event of,
Okay.
then we're geared up for it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is there a minimum amount you put in? No? Just want to go about 10,000 is number 7.
Yeah, it is 10.
Yeah.
Those two.
Is that a minimum?
It's a de minimis per item.
Explain.
Each item, if you sell, so if we sold one of the vehicles, which is an asset, if we sold it for less than £10,000, we don't need to treat it as a capital receipt.
You can put it in general. If it's
Oh.
10,100, it goes in capital.
Oh, okay. Who's figure, where do you get that figure from?
It's a norm figure.
Norm,
Yeah,
right.
best practice.
Interesting.
It's a way of slowing people down. Right, so you've seen the policy, you have the report. We've been asked to, but before, any other questions on it? The downside, of course, is you might have something you want to spend money on and you can't use it for it, yeah? So, but you have to have it for capital receipts and things.
On the other hand, you might have something capital you wish to buy and you can't spend it on it.
One last question, when you put money in capital reserve, does it have to be earmarked for something?
No, no. Just has to be spent on capital.
Just a figure? Oh, right.
And sell the van and buy 10 bikes.
So you can't sell the van and the town clerk go on holiday for a couple of weeks on.
But the IFO can.
10 bikes wouldn't qualify as a capital item.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that one. I haven't done the math on it, but I'll accept that. Well,
What you
I
can
slipped
do,
straight into that one, didn't I?
you
Right,
can
motorcycles.
you can have a cumulative contract of lots of little things which are up to 10k and spend it. I spent 3 hours arguing that with an accountant once. Okay, you've been asked to approve the capital reserve policy, and I'd like to show of hands, please. Thank you, that's approved. And recommend to Council that paragraphs 4.3 to 4.5 of financial regulations be amended as outlined in paragraph 3.5. Any?
We've got a recommendation to next council.
Yeah.
It's not going to the next council, go to one after, because the agenda's already gone out.
Yeah.
Why?
This time, this won't appear in
Well,
the next
yeah.
council.
You've already got your papers for the next council meeting.
Oh, of course we have. Yeah,
Next week.
all right, yeah.
Okay, agreed. Right, thank you. Okay, that is the last agenda item, and we're now moving into the exempt business. And so the public part of this meeting has closed at 8:02.